Well, we're here at the very end of our Nursing 500 course. And what I'm going to do is review both our last full learning unit, which is learning unit number 7, where we look through and review the 8th, ninth, and 10th, the final 3 Caritas processes. And we're going to focus a little bit on biophilia, which is defined simply as a love of living beings. And I'm also going to review with you how to go about completing your final course reflection. So this is our last full week, and then this is the last few days of the course. The course ends on October 8th, and that's when this is due. Both of these are showing at the same time, so as soon as Unit 7 opens, you're also able to see the final course reflection. So looking at Learning Unit 7, you're watching this video, and so we're going to review the final 3 Caritas processes as stated here. And we're especially going to look at the practice of creating a healing and caring workplace environment for the nurses that we lead and that we educate. So we know that effective nurse educators and leaders really can enhance a caring, healing environment of those that they lead and teach by using creative, scientific problem-solving methods and also ways of knowing from other disciplines and cultures, such as an indigenous worldview. And we're going to look into that by listening to Robin Wall Kimmerer. And we're going to end this unit by reflecting on how the third integrative nursing principle, which some of you have already spoken about, nature has healing and restorative properties that contribute to health and well-being. So we're going to reflect on how that principle can be integrated within a caring, science, mindful nursing practice. So by the end of this unit, you can see we have some objectives, and let's get into the activities for the week. So I just have posted again the integrative nursing principles, and this is the one that we're going to be focusing on, but so that you can see all of them together. And so then you're going to go to a link. It's a website, and it's going to review some biophilic design and how certain designs can contribute to healthcare excellence. The next is an article, it's actually an interview with Erica Timko, who, along with the gentleman that we watched the video of last week, I was a classmate of Erica's through the 1-year fellowship on integrative health and healing. And so she was interviewed and has gone on to do a research study that was recently published. I think it was in 2024. And we're going to, my account needs my attention. So we're going to then listen to a video of an interview with Robin Wall Kimmerer. She's an indigenous woman. She's a botanist. She's a professor. She's a philosopher. She is an amazing storyteller. If you have not read any of her books, I would recommend as a gift to yourself over the holidays that you get her book. And it's the one book, Braiding Sweetgrass, that she speaks of was printed in 2013. So yes, you can get a copy at the library or a very inexpensive used book, but it is, I think, my all-time favorite, if I can consider that book or one book to be my all-time favorite. So, and since that time, she wrote a book called The Service Berry in 2024. So I just ask that you listen to some ideas. She is not a nurse, but she is just, when you hear her stories and her way of being and listening and being with nature, I think you're going to see truly the beauty that she brings and shares with others. And then your cultivating caritas is the week's concept is creating a caring, healing environment. And then your discussion board for this week is going to be after the readings and videos, share how the integrative nursing principle, nature has healing and restorative properties that contribute to health and well-being, can be integrated into our leadership and education practice. I'm really interested to see how you thread together this principle in Watson's Caritas Processes 8, 9, and or 10. We're not going to get into nurse retention, so I'm going to take that out. But when you read it, when you see it, you'll see that that is no longer included. And so now we're going to look at the final course reflection. Again, you can submit any of these at any time now, but please have it done or let me know if you're not going to be able to get to it by October 8th. So Jean Watson says, changing the culture from an institutionalized, medicalized, clinical view of humanity and patient care, and even the robotic industrial model into a caring, healing system requires nursing and a different worldview. So when we click on, which I must have done already, there's really two activities. First of all, yes, I say chapter 15, but please note it's only 2 pages, and it's just a really nice finale, I think, in the book, a nice finish to this course. Then you're going to watch 2 of your classmates' TED Talk videos. I know I had 2 posted. I hope at least you have watched those and you could use those, but I encourage you, if you've watched both, then do maybe another one. But the goal is to watch at least 2 of your classmates' TED Talk videos. That was our leadership praxis number 2. I had made the mistake of saying number 3 and got one of our classmates a little bit confused, like I tend to do. But my apologies there. And then you're going to complete the final course reflection and submit it via the Dropbox. So the actual assignment is this. You've watched 2 of your students, their TED Talks, and the purpose of our final course reflection is to allow you time to synthesize your learning by evaluating how the integrative nursing principles and our course student learning outcomes are being demonstrated in the work of your peers. So you're watching these 2 videos, 2 TED Talks, and you're going to think about our student learning outcomes and our integrative nursing principles, but you're going to think about them in a way of, did your peers, did your classmates, how did they demonstrate this in their video? And so this is going to deepen your understanding of integrative nursing leadership, education, and its application in practice. So we're learning from one another. And make it a little bigger, right? So after watching 2 of your classmates' videos, you're going to write a brief reflection. 2 pages is great, 3 pages max. Or if you'd rather, you can do a video response now that your Screen Pal masters. Maybe you just want to share it in a video. That's great. It does not, your paper does not have to be APA formatted. But you're going to identify which nursing principles, integrative nursing principles, did you observe in each of the videos, and how your classmates' example illustrated these principles, And then at least two student learning outcomes from this course that were demonstrated through each of your classmates' videos. Explain why you believe these outcomes were met. And then one key insight you gained from your peers' example that you could apply to your own nursing leadership and education practice. So you can see the grading rubric here. It's worth 6 points. But to make this a bit clearer, I developed a worksheet, and I think that this worksheet will be helpful. And it is, you can print out maybe 2 copies. That would be wonderful. And as you watch your classmates' videos, just write down their names, the title of their presentation, and here's where you can circle which of the 6 principles were evident in their presentation. Maybe it was more than one, maybe it was 4 out of 5, etc. And then this is your worksheet. How were the principles demonstrated? So jot down that as you're watching. And then which student learning outcomes do you believe this presentation addressed? Again, maybe it's more than one, maybe it's just one of the outcomes. That's okay. And why do you think these outcomes were met? And then the personal insight is what is one key takeaway or leadership or education idea from this presentation that you could apply to your own practice, and the impact that this presentation made on your understanding of integrative nursing leadership. So this is just a helpful tool. You don't necessarily need to do it, but I just thought, boy, I'd like a tool as I was listening to these videos to use. So that's one that I developed. Here is the link to your classmates' videos, and you can choose whichever 2 classmates you would like, and then you're going to see below I'm going to have your Dropbox. So that is the final course reflection, and again that's due October 8th, and going back to our last final learning unit that is due on the 5th. And I hope you have a fantastic week, and then you're going to have a week of a break as you go on to your creativity and innovation course. And that's being taught by Dr. Mel Henderson. So Melanie Henderson just finished her doctoral degree, and she will be leading you through our next mini.